It's Saturday afternoon, and we're here driving down Route 58. And Route 58 itself is labeled a very haunted route, is it not?
It is.
There's everything from ghost stories to UFO sightings,
right,
to other strange paranormal activity that has been reported along this road. Do you remember any specific stories?
No, I don't, but I know there's quite a few buildings or structures along this road that are haunted, as well as like apparitions being seen up and down alongside the road. I believe there's a story of a hitchhiker, that sort of thing.
Yes, it does sound familiar.
Yes.
There's been a lot of swamps that we've been driving through. There's been a lot of cotton fields, and it's a wintry mix out there right now. We've got some flurries mixed in with the rain. It's about 34 degrees, and we're somewhere near Franklin, Virginia, I believe.
Yes.
And today, our destination, we're headed down to North Carolina, to a town in North Carolina, where we're going to interview a woman and determine whether or not she is demonically possessed.
Right.
Now, this video of the interview and the whole story with that will be posted as a separate video. But right now, we just kind of want to show you what goes on along the trip there. Some of the paranormal pit stops that we may take, some of the places we may see along the way.
Like the Love's coming up.
Like the Love's coming up. Speak of paranormal pit stops,
Yes.
I do see a beacon high above the road. It's not Sheetz, but it's possibly the next best thing. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. It's
But
Love's.
yeah.
But at least they have coffee.
Yeah, they do have coffee. So I think we're going to stop at this Love's up here and make our first paranormal pit stop. And we'll fill you in a little more about the story or the report as we go along the way, as well as anything we may encounter or any urban legend or anything we may stop at. Not
Right.
saying that we will, but if we do, we'll make the video. So.
Which I think is pretty cool.
What is that, an animal or?
I'm not sure. I'm assuming that it's one of those things that kind of goes around your head and keeps your ears warm.
Ah.
And I'm sure it's fake fur. It's not real fur. It's just
Right,
synthetic.
some faux fur.
It does look like foxy and stuff. So yeah, there you go. See, it's got a picture of the girl on there.
There you have it. It looks
Yeah.
sort of somewhat Russian military.
And yeah, definitely Russian military style, which is a little bit weird, but I mean, to each his own.
Now I found something interesting here, one of the end caps. It's Tootsie Roll socks.
Whoa.
And it says, Mr. Owl, how many licks? And they are definitely some nice socks. You can see they got the arch band there that kind of keeps them from sliding down.
Right.
Pretty thick sock. And I would definitely wear these, probably with my pants, and I'd roll the pants up so that the owl sock stuck out of the top of the boot like that, and definitely show up at people's houses like that. So we got some Java inside of Love's.
Right.
I believe I got the rich bold, I'm not sure. Dark bold, something like that. Maybe I got the medium.
Yeah.
I kind of forget at this point.
Yeah.
But they do have some good coffee here. I do like this coffee.
And it's fairly good. I got like a medium Brazilian roast, I think they called it. So, but it's pretty good stuff.
Yes. And we still got that wintry mix coming down out here. A little bit of snow mixed in with the rain and such. If you can kind of see it in the background there, not sure if you can.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna drink up this coffee as we travel, or should I say venture, back down Route 58 on our way to North Carolina.
Yep.
So here we are, just crossed over the line into North Carolina, and we're at the North Carolina Welcome Center. And as you can see behind us, the snow's coming down pretty heavy.
Right.
Some fairly good-sized flakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still venturing. We're on I-95 now.
I-95, yes.
And still about an hour out from our destination or so. But we decided it was time for a paranormal pit stop, maybe to use the facilities here and see what this I-95 rest stop just over the line has to offer.
Yep.
So let's go inside and take a look. So I got to say, this is quite the facility here.
It is.
With the big pillars, and it looks like they have quite a selection of brochures inside, though it is closed at this point in time. Mm-hmm. And over here, this big lighted building appears to be the restrooms. So I gotta say, we have some fair bathroom facilities here.
Yes.
I especially like this little interior parlor area. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Parlor.
I don't know.
But it's nice when you come in. You get hit with a blast of warm air.
Warm air. Yeah, it is very warm in here. It feels great.
It does. It does. And the facilities are pretty clean as well. Hands-free stuff.
Somewhat.
And
Yeah.
Somewhat. I wouldn't eat in there. And just outside the bathroom, they have some refreshments. I dare to say a plethora of candy and beverages just to the other side. So here we are in Knightdale, North Carolina, and the snow has stopped. It stopped quite a ways up the road.
Yes.
And we stopped at a B&P just to kind of stretch the legs for a little bit before we get to the investigation and kind of give a little, well, it's not really an investigation, it's an interview.
Right.
And just to give you a little more details about what's going on, we're interviewing this lady because in court, she has to prove that she is not possessed.
Right.
Very strange,
Yes,
right?
very
Unusual.
odd.
We don't hear a lot of court cases where someone has to prove that they're not possessed.
Yes.
And we'll give you more details about this after we do the interview. We'll let you know how the interview went. And like I said, the full case involving the court hearing and the interview and everything else will be in a separate video. This is just kind of a along the road type of deal. Paranormal pit stop.
Yeah.
You know, night in the life of a ghost hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll give you more details after the interview.
Yep.
Providing she's not possessed, because if she is possessed, we might not make it out of there.
Right.
So we finished up our interview and determined that, to the best of our belief, the woman is not possessed, which is good, because that means we're still here.
Right.
We made it out.
Made it to Sheetz.
Made it to Sheetz. That beacon of light in the night. What trip would be complete without a paranormal pit stop at Sheetz?
Wiley Wallaby Australian style licorice.
It's gourmet red.
Right. Now we have a lot of fans in Australia. For some odd reason, they love us in Australia. But I wonder if they actually sell this here, or if this is just kind of like a gimmick for America. I don't know. But if anybody lives in Australia and you've seen this, let us know.
We'd like to know about it.
We'd like to know.
That one person in Australia that gives us the thumbs up, that one thumbs up that we have. Let us know if they have that there.
Right.
And meanwhile, we're going to turn to the touchscreen menu here, and I see a quesadilla up there.
Yeah.
This looks pretty good. And then I always have my mind set on something when I come in here. But then as soon as I see the stuff on the menu, the options, my mind's all discombobulated. I don't know what to get.
Because everything looks so good.
It does.
I mean,
I was thinking chicken, but then I had a chicken sandwich from McDonald's for lunch.
Right.
You know, maybe a burger. I don't know.
Burger.
Maybe.
I'm thinking burrito.
Burrito.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, for me
that
it
might
was
be good.
between burrito and salad. They actually have really good salads here as well. So. But I'm still thinking burrito.
Right, I'd probably lean more towards the burrito than the salad.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And in the spirit of the season, we got some holiday mint M&Ms.
Yes.
Ooh, and the Andy Snap Bar.
Yeah, I mean, I like chocolate and mint together, but I have to say that Andy's candies are my favorite. I used to eat those when I was a kid at my grandmother's house, so when I eat one, it gives me that kind of warm, fuzzy feeling.
Right.
But,
Yeah, my grandmother used to always have those too.
right, yeah. But I would be willing to try this. Maybe not tonight, but at some point.
At some point, perhaps. So that was some video of Santa stopping at Sheetz that we just saw there, and some great gift ideas. Some Sheetz shirts and hats. And in the spirit of the season, of course, talking about the spirit of the season, I have the Mountain Dew Holiday Blend, which I have to say, I'm eager to try this. And had it not been for the salted caramel Pepsi at the last Paranormal Pit Stop a couple weeks ago, I probably would have gotten this. But salted caramel Pepsi took the precedence.
So what do you think it's going to taste like? Do you think it's going to be like cinnamon and nutmeg kind of thing?
I think it's going to taste like Christmas. When I drink this, I think I'm going to be able to taste tinsel and sparkles and everything that's nice and sugar and spice.
Ice and sparkles. Okay, we'll see.
So here we are back out in the car in the Sheetz parking lot. And Linda, you have quite a burrito there, I must say.
Look at this thing.
Look at the size of that thing. It's heavy to pick
like,
up.
It's
You
tearing
need like
the paper.
superhuman strength to pick it up.
Look at that. I mean, look at the size of my hand compared to it. I mean,
Yes.
isn't that crazy?
That
It's
is
huge.
a big burrito.
It's like the size of my forearm. It's actually bigger than my forearm. Yeah. And yeah, I'm gonna attack this tonight. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to eat it all, but I'm gonna try. Because we also have an app platter too, and I want to eat some of the things in the app platter, so I don't want to completely fill up. But
That's right.
These things are amazing. They're so good. You can either get one of their signature recipes, or you can make your own. So I've made my own tonight. Got a little bit of everything that I like down inside here, including pico sauce, the pico de gallo, and very
Pico
good
de
stuff.
gallo.
Pico de gallo.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right. Now I tried to get a Holly Jolly sheet. They have these shirts that the employees are wearing that they look like a Christmas sweater with ornaments and a snow globe, and it says Sheetz, and then it says have a Holly Jolly Sheetz run. And I tried to purchase one, but I was shot down. So perhaps anyone that's on any kind of position at Sheetz to sell me a shirt, if you're watching, I would like one of those shirts.
Yeah, and he'll buy it.
I will buy it.
Pay for it.
I will pay for it. I will.
Yeah.
And that would be good advertisement, maybe.
Not that he needs any more shirts. He just wants one.
I want it. Yes.
Severely.
Right.
So this thing is massive. I mean, you know, you can't even like hardly get your mouth over top of the thing. I have a big mouth. I mean, like I can shove a Coke can in my mouth, but this thing is so big that you have to take it like little nibbles off of it. And I got pork down inside there. They have shredded pork. They have chicken. And I think they have steak as well. But take a look at that.
I'm gonna have to take off my jacket for this one.
Boneless.
Those are the large boneless bites right there.
Yeah.
Going with the classic.
Wow.
Those of you who know that I'm a connoisseur of hot sauce know that I'm a connoisseur of buffalo chicken wings.
Yeah, those look
They
pretty
kind of
good
go hand
too.
in hand.
Don't you have some blue cheese sauce around here?
There is some blue cheese sauce
Yeah.
around here.
Can't forget
Perhaps
the
in the
sauce.
Sheetz bag.
Yep, probably.
But in the tradition of paranormal pit stops, while we're sitting here indulging in Sheetz, a victory meal, if you will.
Victory?
A victory meal. Every time we, have a successful investigation.
Every time we get out of one
Every
alive.
time we get out of one alive with our, lives intact and not possessed. It's good. But I think we might as well kind of discuss it
Yeah,
as we're eating.
good idea.
So what do you think about this whole situation? Now, before we get started, I must say this video will be posted on YouTube. Not this video, because you're obviously watching this one, but the video of the entire story.
Right.
The interview with the lady about what's going on in her court case right now, and the interview with her finding out, determining whether or not she's possessed.
Right.
Will be in a separate video. YouTube.com/Virginia Paranormal for that in its entirety.
Yeah. I have to say, so many times when we go out to an investigation, what we can encounter is actually a crazy person. Now, these people, oftentimes they believe that they're seeing these things. They really, truly do. And but a lot of times, they're really just not. It's not something that's actually there. You can't say that it's anything more than a figment of their imagination. This lady here is not crazy, but she's in a crazy situation. It's so incredibly ridiculous and laughable to think that a judge has allowed this line of questioning concerning her being possessed and doing this to herself. Now, mind you, this woman's had a psychological evaluation. As a matter of fact, she's had 2 of them, and she's passed them both with flying colors. So it's obvious she's not nuts. We went out to determine whether she was possessed or not. And, according to the typical symptoms of, if you will, of demonic possession, there was nothing what we could find that indicated that she was in any way possessed. So, crazy stuff.
And I have to say, I've often at times related this to the miracle on 31st Street.
34th?
34th Street. That 34th was the sequel.
What? Okay.
So it's, if you think of that movie is where they had to prove that Santa Claus existed in court. This is kind of the same thing, because in one way or another, it's being proven that paranormal activity exists or doesn't exist. I mean, if the judge rules that this lady's right, then she's not possessed, but indeed was attacked by a paranormal entity at a previous residence.
Right.
Now, if the judge rules that the guy is correct, then he's most likely saying that she is indeed possessed and did this to herself. So one way or another, there might be a ruling that lies heavily upon paranormal activity.
Now, what I also find crazy, this guy has 15 charges pending against him for domestic battery, domestic assault. He's currently on probation for, I guess, possession with intent to distribute. And it's really crazy, the situation, because this guy should have been in jail so long ago, and he's fighting against her. He's basically harassing her because she has tried to bring these charges against him with this assault and battery. And if he is charged with that assault and battery, then he ends up going to jail for 4 years and 9 months for whatever he was on probation for. So, and I mean, these people even stole her car and then took pictures of themselves with the car and put them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's just unreal that this whole situation actually happens to people. I feel really sorry for her that she's having to go through this stuff.
Me too, absolutely.
Just a crazy situation.
It is. It's an unusual thing for paranormal investigators to be called into.
Absolutely.
As well. You don't commonly see that.
Absolutely.
Now, I do have to say on a lighter note, this Holiday Brew Mountain Dew is rather good. If you're familiar with Code Red, and you're familiar with the traditional Mountain Dew, this is basically a mixture of the two. And they complement each other fairly well. It's got that Code Red at first taste, and then the undertone of Mountain Dew as kind of the lingering aftertaste. So, if you happen to see one of these, definitely check it out. So here we are, believe it or not, at a different Sheetz. This is one of 4 Sheetz that we've passed since we've left our location that we were at earlier.
Right.
And they're all within probably, I'd say, a 50-mile span of each other.
They are.
Right? But along the way, between the last Sheetz and this Sheetz, and we stopped here for gas. It wasn't to eat again, because I'm still full from the last Sheetz.
Stuffed.
But between this Sheetz and that Sheetz, Linda did a little bit of research and has some information to share about an urban legend.
Yes.
That's here in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Right. So this urban legend is not really about ghosts, but it is kind of an interesting thing that was originally found in Weird, North Carolina. You know those books, Weird New Jersey is where it originated. But this road is called Seven Bridges Road because, of course, it's this fairly long road that has 7 bridges. And if you start on the North Carolina or North Rocky Mount side of it, and you drive down this road and you continue down to this small town of Leggett, and then you turn around and come back down the road, as you count the bridges again, for some reason you only end up with 6. So one of the bridges mysteriously disappears. Nobody's quite sure why you can only count 6 on the way back, and there's 7 on the trip going. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe it's just some person that counted poorly, or maybe there's something to it.
Right. Perhaps a bad counter. I don't know. But
right.
It's definitely paranormal, and
Yes.
definitely something that I feel we need to check out since we're down in these parts.
Right.
So let's go take a look at this Seven Bridges Road. You also mentioned there's some murders and stuff that happened along it.
Yes, Seven Bridges Road was the site where a serial killer was killing women who were on drugs and into prostitution. There were approximately 10 of them who had disappeared from the local area, and 9 of the bodies were found right along Seven Bridges Road in the woods. And they had one man that they were looking at for the murders. But they were only able to convict him so far, I believe, on one of the murders. So it's believed that he may have been the one that killed all of them.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, let's head on down there and
Yep.
see what we can see. So here we are, about to turn on to Seven Bridges Road. And I gotta say, I'm interested. Eager to count these bridges.
Yes.
I don't see why it would be 7 bridges one way and 6 the other,
Right.
but I'm eager to see if that's the case, and to
Yeah.
indeed possibly explore what reason that could be.
Right.
And it's got some low rolling fog coming across the road to kind of set the mood for this dark, creepy road. And this is Seven Bridges Road.
This is the bridge.
Alright, so here we are coming up on our first bridge on Seven Bridges Road. See out the window there, just a small little bridge. And is this bridge number 2?
I believe it might be.
It's a very small bridge. There's no guardrails on it or anything.
Yeah.
I guess that would count as bridge number 2, technically. Bridge number 3. And it looks like we're coming up on bridge number 4, which is significantly larger than the last 2 bridges. Bridge number 5. Probably the largest bridge yet, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely. Perhaps another one right after it.
I
Yep.
believe it is. Bridge number 6. This should be bridge number 7. If I'm
Definitely
not
7.
mistaken. Definitely 7. And we must be almost to Leggett,
Yeah.
right?
Leggett, yeah. We're almost to the end of this road here, that is true. And we are going to have to turn around and go back and count them again and see what we can find. See if there's 6 or 7.
Okay, so now we're heading back down. We made our U-turn, and we're heading back down Seven Bridges Road to see if it indeed turns into 6 Bridges Road.
Right, I'm fully expecting there's going to be 7.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't see how there couldn't be.
No, no.
I could see us maybe missing one, but
Right,
we're
right.
gonna have to keep our eyes open.
Yeah.
So here we go. Bridge number, well, this was originally 7, but we're starting with 1.
Bridge number 1.
1. Bridge number 2 is still there.
Yeah.
If I remember this correctly, this was a couple bridges in a row.
It was.
Bridge 2, right?
Right.
And then bridge Bridge 4. Still there.
Still there.
Number 5.
Still here.
Still there. Bridge number 6. So, there should be one more to go. The question is, will it still be there? I see some reflective signs up there in the road that could very well signify bridge number 7.
Yeah,
Could it be?
sure is.
I believe it is.
7 bridges.
There are still 7 bridges on 7 Bridges Road, no matter which way you come from.
Yeah.
After leaving 7 Bridges Road, we once again find ourselves in Sheetz.
Yes. Another one.
And this is about an hour up the road
Right.
in a town called
Weldon?
Weldon.
We think we're in Weldon.
Weldon, I believe that's correct, at the junction of 95. And when we drove through Weldon, historic Weldon anyway, it was like a bunch of very old storefronts from the
Right.
40s/50s, like an old
50s,
50s Main Street. But all the stores were pretty much empty.
Yeah.
Now the streets were still decorated with Christmas
Yeah.
lighted wreaths.
Yeah.
But some very old storefronts with some old letters up
Yeah.
on top of the buildings, old Coke signs that were painted on the sides of
Right.
one of the buildings. And
It was really kind of surreal because it was completely abandoned. I mean, there
Completely.
wasn't one person walking
not a
around in that
person.
town.
And none of those stores looked in business, though they might have been. They
Yeah.
didn't look it though. They
No,
didn't
but it
look
was hard to tell if it was abandoned because it was such a late hour,
Right.
like 3 o'clock in the morning, or
Right.
if it was abandoned because, people just didn't go there anymore,
Yeah.
even during the daytime.
To me, it looked like somebody just packed up in 1955 and walked out of that town. Everyone just left and no one came back except for to
Right.
decorate it for Christmas.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool, though.
But check out these Christmas mugs. Have a holly jolly Sheetz run. How cool is that, huh? And that's
Pretty
resemblant of the shirt that I would like to get. If resemblant is a word, I don't know. It is now.
Probably not, yeah.
The bathrooms here,
Very clean.
very
At least
clean.
mine was.
Now my
Yeah.
problem was this: there was no soap in the dispenser.
Oh.
So that means if there's any male employees that work here, where do they wash their hands after they use the bathroom?
Yeah. Ugh.
Now maybe there's a sink back there, but
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yuck. Glad I'm not eating here.
Yeah. So, 7 Bridges Road. We definitely counted 7 bridges both ways.
We did. Yeah.
And what do you think? What's some of your theories as to why, or one of your theories as to why people might say that there's only 6 bridges on the way back?
Well, first of all, I think maybe, like, the first theory would be that somebody just miscounted, because it's easy to miss one of the bridges. There's 2 of them directly in a row, one right after the other. So when you're on your way back, it would be easy to miss the second bridge. Now, if they didn't miss the second bridge, what it also could be is that when you're coming back toward Rocky Mount, you get up to a certain stop sign where it looks like a fairly main road, and the last bridge is on the other side of that stop sign a little ways down the road. So it may be that people are pulling up to that stop sign thinking that they are back to the main road and turning onto it without actually going a little bit further down the road to get back to where they originally started from.
Yeah, that could definitely be a reason.
Yes.
Another theory that I have is that perhaps the reflective signs that were put up on the sides of the bridge
Yeah.
are fairly modern times, and perhaps this urban legend goes back to an earlier time before those reflective signs were put up.
It could be.
And coming back,
Yeah.
they may have missed one of the smaller bridges, because
Right.
2 of those bridges I recall were very small bridges.
Yeah, it's
and if the
literally a
reflective
ditch.
signs weren't there,
Yeah.
you really wouldn't see it other than a
Right.
little curve that was
Yeah.
raised, so it would be easy to miss. So
Yeah.
another possibility. There could be some truth as to, why, like, not that somebody made it up, but they mistakenly miscounted
Right.
several times. And
Perhaps this was some drunk teenagers out on a Saturday night and just, miscounted.
miscounted the bridge.
Yeah.
Very well could be. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 7 Bridges Road. And now we are back. We're finally back to the junction of 95. We're going to get back on 95 and head up into Virginia.